Evening guys, we find ourselves back on YouTube for a long time, first time in a long time. So we've got a lot of catching up to do. I've got loads of things, stories, a little bit of chat to give you. We have got a post tonight across on my blog I really want you guys to check out. I want to tell you everything about the whole entire shoot I've just done for jewelry brand Clocks and Colours, how it came about, blah blah blah. That's all in tonight's video. So you join me back on YouTube. I realise it's been bloody months since I've sort of been up for it, and I'm just gonna be like, right, I'm back, this is cool. I've been on a cool things, I've had no jobs, I've sort of been like not very creative, I've been in the wrong place, like at the wrong time rather than the right place at the right time. But recently we've had a string of good luck on my side, which I've just been across to the south of France, and I've just filmed a campaign for Clocks and Colours, so I want to tell you all about that. It's literally just been my birthday weekend, so it's like I've still got £4.50 in the bank, sorry, £4.30 in the bank. I thought I had 20 more pence than I actually had. £0 in the savings, so it's tough, it's struggling. I'm having a bit of a nightmare. I'm in the process of writing my birthday blog as well. So my birthday blog is a nice little reflection thing of like where last year, what I was doing at this point, if things were good, if things were bad, if things could be better. And it's a little bit of like, when I go back and read it, it's a little bit of therapy for me, and just be like, oh, you know what, you're not too bad, or all right, you still need to really concentrate and sort this out. So I'm in the process of writing that, and that's hopefully going to come soon. I really want to shoot that blog soon, because I love doing a birthday post, not just only for you, but for me, for when every time I read it in October, I like to go back and just reflect and just see how things are going, and if it's better or if it's worse or if it's the same. Hopefully it's always the first one, but you never know, like swings and roundabouts. But I want to tell you tonight about a super cool shoot, which sort of got, I don't know, the universe was sort of good to me. So it was going really bad. Job prospects were very low. As soon as I had this really big nightmare, I was like, right, this is it. 2 days later, on the Sunday, for my mate, the main man I know in Paris, Monet, to ring me, just going like, can you come to Paris next week? And I was like, thank you universe, you're on my side. When I was feeling low, I've got this huge new, literally instant, like new story, new sort of like thing I can think about, new, job I can like create all these ideas for. And this sort of set the ball rolling for how I've just gone across again to France. So I want to tell you about that, and I also want to, like, in the future coming weeks, show you what me and Monet created for he's got a bit of a blog going on. He's wrote a few really cool articles which you should check out. If you love leather jackets, if you love that sort of like, really cool black Jim Morrison, it's like jet black biker jacket, music inspired 70s, nod to the 70s, nod to biker culture, literally everything cool about leathers, biker jackets. You've got to go and check Monet's blog. You'll see the video across on his page. Hopefully I want to post it as well on mine, and I want to chat about it to you guys as well. But that's a film that when I went over to Paris, we did it, we created it. It was exactly how I knew it was going to go. He ended up loving it. But after we did the video, after we had like a bit of the work, we had one big blowout night out in Paris, which was absolutely amazing. So I was lucky enough to go over there, and that was probably a couple of months ago now. It was still really nice and warm, and there was just like, he had a few friends out, and I ended up, I've obviously follow Raphael on my Instagram, and obviously I know he's massive advocate for the Western rock and roll super cool style, and I've always thought, I'd love to meet Raphael, you know what I mean, anywhere. And when I went across, I was like, oh, I noticed he was in Paris as well. I was like, Monet, I think we should invite Raphael on the night out as well. So we went for it started off quite classy. We went for dinner, we had a really nice meal, we got to know one another. It was really cool, exchanging stories and whatnot. A few of Monet's pals came out as well. But then it's sort of there was a few beers, there was a few rums, then there was some crazy things happen, where we ended up going back to this girl's house who she said, I can't get my words out, it was that mad. She said she had nothing, and it was like, oh, I only live in a little place, and it ended up to be this like multi-millionaire's pad. She was, you know, pretty smashed. We were pretty smashed. I was like, look, I'm only going to come back if you got some beers. I was like, have you got any beers? She was like, I have got beers. Went back, there was one beer rattling around the fridge, and I was like, I can't stay. She promised me beers. So basically it was one of those where we were like, right, thanks, but I'll see you later. It was really, really nice to, you know, check out your amazing pad. But we're away again, back out on the streets of France and the streets of Paris to find some more beers. But it was just crazy things were happening. And then we were all like, because there was a few of us at this point, like getting taxis, getting trains, going around Paris, finding these mad people, finding these crazy things we ended up in. And then someone was like, you're in a band. We know you're in a band. We were like, yeah, we're in a band. Raphael was like, we're the Lost Boys. We're on the last leg of our European tour. Paris is our final night. We played the show last night. We got given a gig. He was like, come to mine. You can come on. You can perform. It'll be amazing. I was like, check us out on Spotify. The guy's like, the Lost Boys. I'm like, the Lost Boys. He's like, you're not on there. I'm like, right, fire the manager. It was hilarious. So we had a crazy night out. And then I asked Raphael, I was like, look, if I can get any sort of brands involved and can we sort of plan a shoot together, would you be up for planning a shoot? And he was like, right, I've just done my name again, but classic. I'm like, you know, this is a YouTube I've not done in a while. We'll bleep that out. He was like, yes, I would love to do a shoot. He was like, if you can get one in the bag, I am your man. And I was like, right, leave it with me. So when I got back, edited Monia's film, did a really, really good job there. He'd give it to him, some photographs, some amazing films, some teasers. As you can see, you can go across and check that out across on his article page, across on his blog, across on his Instagram. And then after I finished that, I was like on the hunt, as I always am every single day, for sort of like either brands I've worked with in the past or sort of new brands. And I was like, you know what? I think I can see Raphael as like this cowboy, this Western person, like going through on the hunt for treasure. And I was like, treasure jewelry. I was like, because I've worked with Clocks and Colours in the past, and recently I've had a little bit. I just saw it. It was Harvey Nicks now stock Clocks and Colours, and they reposted my little film I did of Bill and Josh when I was in London. This was in like middle of lockdown, and they reposted that on Harvey Nicks. Give me a little credit. I was like, oh, that's spot on that. And I was like, Clocks and Colours. It has to be Clocks and Colours. So I give him a little mood board. See what they thought of the initial idea. I was like, right, this is Raphael, he's a legend, he's a Western cowboy, I think this will look great. He was down in the south of France at this point. I think he'd left Paris a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, right, when we get here, close borders to Spain, I was like, Spain could be epic. I didn't realise how good it was going to be, but literally we ended up getting a bit of a budget. Clocks and Colours were like 100% we're dedicated to this shoot. We'll send all the rings, we'll send the props, we'll send the hats, we'll send the hip flasks. And I was like, right, this is on. So text Raphael, got it all sorted. The next thing we knew, we were flying to south of France. So I was actually going to go by myself, but then Louisa was like, I like south of France, I like Paris when we went across. I was like, come with. So we made a bit of a holiday out of the either end of the shoot. So the whole idea of going across there was obviously to shoot this campaign, to film Raphael wearing all the rings, to get a bit of a storyline together and sort of, you know, making it all look super cool, which I was really, really excited about. But now obviously Louisa was coming up, was like, oh, well, this is class, because we've been speaking about going on holiday all summer. We've just been stuck in Scotland, you know, travelling around, seeing a little bit of Scotland, back to mine, back to hers, but we've not been away since we went to Paris really super early on in the year. So I was like, right, this is going to be perfect, catch a little bit of that last summer sunshine, which we did. But then, yeah, the shoot was on and we had to get thinking of an idea. So the next thing we knew, we arrived in Biarritz, we checked the place out, we sort of obviously checked the Airbnb out, we went to meet Raphael, and then this is the last time I saw Raphael, was obviously in Paris on that crazy night out. So obviously we had a bit of catching up to do then. That was pretty funny. Met him just on his lunch, and we parked in this little town he lives in, and we parked, must have been setting up a little street market, and it was the first time we parked the little rental car. So I walked across to the, sorry, that was super bad English. I walked across to the little pay app, phone, wherever it is, car park machine. and it asked for a number plate, and I was like, oh, I don't know what the number plate is. This is probably one of the best stories I've got of the holiday. And I shouted, I was like, Louisa, what's the number plate number for the car? And she was like, blah, 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 FR9229, whatever it was. And didn't think anything of it. Went around that day, checked out the, you know, like the little town Raphael lived in, met him, sorted all the stuff out for the next day. I was like, right, I've come for you at like 6:30, 7 a.m. in the morning, because we had this whole idea of what we were going to do, like the big shoot day. And he was like, right, no worries. Got back to the car in this like now deserted car park. It was about 5 or 6 hours later than obviously when we left the car. And then when we were walking back, our car was like the only one in the car park. And then I heard this, Louisa, what's the registration of the car? And I'd said that like 5 or 6 hours previous. And I was like, what the hell? This is so weird. With these two guys who sort of lived there. I mean, they didn't really have anywhere they actually lived, but they were just like, you know, like they were cool, really, really nice. And they helped setting up the market. They must have set it up for like, you know, 10 or 20 euros, carrying things from cars, setting the, you know, the little stalls up or whatever. That's how they made the money. And they were sort of like rough sleepers outside the shop. Anyway, we went across. I was like, what the hell? Like, I said that hours ago. How do you remember? And he was like, oh, we were watching you, blah, blah. Introduced each other, and like he had like very dry, cracked under the sun skin, and like a big beard, and he was playing this harmonica. He had these two dogs with him, and he called him his manager, and he was some other person that we live with, basically, underneath the stars, Christoph and James. I was like, these two are legends. They had some big stories. And they were like, well, what's your story? They were like, oh, shoot tomorrow, we'll come on the shoot tomorrow. I was like, oh, we only got like 4 seats and there's 4 of us going. He was like, well, lend me the car and I'll drive there. Obviously, you won't see the car again. I probably won't come to the shoot. I was like, right, I know his game. And he was like, oh, I love your necklaces. This is after like 15 minutes of conversation. And I was like, oh, all right, nice, cheers. And the guy was like, oh, I've got a necklace, but this is really, really chunky. But he said I got this little charm. I can't fit on it. He was like, can I have one of yours? I was like, oh, these are sentimental to me. But I was like, oh, like, if it's like your charm, I said, oh, like, give us a look. And he was like, oh, like, and then his manager was like, oh, you only nicked it last week. And I was like, oh, here we go, is there another story in this? Anyway, he was looking around for his charm, and Christoph was just like, oh, it's in your little tobacco pouch, it's in there. And he said, oh, I don't know, it's in there. And he was like, no, it's not. He was like, anyway, play this harmonica. And he wanted me to play the harmonica, so he was giving it the big harmonica. He was pretty good. And then like he pulled it away and he was like, you play it. I was like, no, I can't really play. He was like, oh, I'm not got anything. Oh, no, I'm not got anything. I was like, no, there's not a chance I'm touching that. I'm not going to lie. I said, we're best pals here. But I was like, I don't really fancy playing your harmonica. Anyway, I was like, right, I'm going to the shop. I was like, do you just want anything? He was like, done it again. He was like, get me the cheapest bottle of wine. He says, so normally when I tell people this, he goes to bring out a nice one. He said he don't like the nice one because it tastes of something. He wants the cheapest one, €1.80, because it doesn't taste of anything and it gets him where he wants to be. And I was like, look, if you want that, whatever. He had a couple of dogs with him, so I got him some dog food, got him some water, little bits and pieces. I was like, right, there you go. Anyway, by this time he'd found his little necklace charm. I think it must have been in his tobacco pouch or whatever. He sorted it. He was like, oh, look, here it is. And he was like, I want you to have it. I was like, whoa. I said, if it's sentimental to you, I said, I don't want to take it from you. I said, like, he was like, oh, it don't fit me, you got chains for it. And it was a little St. Christopher's charm, which I didn't realise at the time. He told us. He said it was a sort of the lucky charm for travellers. So all this, I love like little stories, I love finding, I love come and buy jewellery, which has either an epic story or it'll tell me a place and a time where I got it from, and I'll always remember Christoph and James. And I was like, no, I can't take it off you. Like, obviously he was like, oh, you only nicked it. And he was like, shut up, I didn't nick it. And I was like, look, oh, well, I'll pay for it. And I had €20. And I was like, look, €20, and it was only a little charm. And he was like, take it. He was like, all right, there you go. So I give him €20, and literally it's the coolest charm in the world. And then he went, no, I can't give you it, because he had his €20 in his pocket. And I was like, oh, here we go, here's the graft. He was like, what do you mean? But that didn't happen. He went, I need to clean it first. Got it back off me, went, it's clean. And I was like, thank you so much for cleaning that. So literally got back, give it a bit of a wash, as you do, put it on one of my necklaces, and I have it. Show you, because I'll put it on here to remember to tell you the story, and it's on one of my little chains, and it's a little bit beaten up, but you can see, I don't know if it'll sort of focus in there, hopefully it will, but it's a little St. Christopher's silver charm, and it's just, you know, protecting patron saint of travellers. And now obviously I wear that with pride, knowing Christoph and James are out there. And they said send me the video as well, which I am going to send them the video. But he was like, problem is, if you send me the video via email, I don't have a computer and I don't have access to the internet. But he said he will get it sometime. So I'm hoping after I will send them the video, because they were pretty, every time we got back, they were like, how did it go, blah, blah, blah. They were two bloody legends. And I've got such a nice little charm to remember the shoot and to remember meeting those two guys. So that was probably one of the best stories I have. But that was previously to even going on the shoot. So basically the shoot itself, we set off super early in the morning, and the previous couple of days I was like looking for like cool restaurants, as you do, like looking on Instagram, because that's normally where I find, you know, some like nice places. You know, if you don't know where the local area is, it's quite hard to find, so I always go on Instagram, narrow it down that way. Anyway, I found this abandoned old church built on the sand dunes of the coast, and I was like, oh my god, we've got to shoot there. So we wanted to shoot this at like in the morning at dawn, so you see the sun coming up, and we were like, this is going to be the perfect start of the shoot, and then we'll go get in the car, drive to Spain, where these like amazing mountains are, to the Pyrenees. So 6 a.m. wake up call, we had to get way earlier than that. Got there, got all the stuff, got all the props, so we got everything, we got the cameras, we got the passports, didn't know if we needed passports to cross the border of Spain. Got everything sorted, got to Raphael's, picked Raphael and Ebony up, his friend who knew the area. She was like a tour guide, and she was really like cool person. She had these amazing cameras as well, the old analog cameras. She wanted to come, bit of a tour guide, and just like take some cool shots. And we were like, right, this is sweet, get in. Raphael's big guitar stuck right the way down the middle of the car, so we're all jam-packed in this tiny little Fiat 500, which was the cheapest car I had to rent. And then we were like, right, let's set off to this church. We were driving to the church, bear in mind it was like, you know, like 6:30, 7 a.m. at this point. It was perfect. I was like, right, the sun's going to come up, it's going to be fine. We knew showers were on the way, but we thought, right, there's nothing ever interrupts or, you know, like sort of has a negative effect on a shoot I've ever done, apart from wind once, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, right, okay, please can there not be showers, which were predicted. I'm not going to lie, it was the worst thunder and lightning storm. Torrential, I'm just talking like biblical rain, like you can't see the road rain. So we sat in this car park. There was this like little sort of caravan hut with like green and red lights. There was a huge party going on there with like 2 people or something. We initially thought it was Christoph and James, giving it the big one with the €20 they got from the previous day. Turns out it wasn't. But there was just this black and then lightning with torrential rain, and we were like, it wasn't even one of the ones where we're like, oh, it'll pass. It's like, this is off, this cannot happen. We were like, right, this is it, we'll drive to Spain. Drove to Spain. The weather got better and better and better as we left France over the Pyrenees. As soon as we dropped on the other side, it was just the perfect fluffy cloud, perfect blue sky. It literally looked like something from America, like you'd imagine, you know, like the big western sort of like that sort of vast desert to be looked like in America. I never knew you could get something so similar in Spain. It was absolutely class. So then we sort of did everything in reverse. So we did the day's shoot, we had all the jewelry, we had the box, we had the idea of Raphael walking with said shovel he found but not found previously to what we should have filmed, but we had to like really think about it all. Through the desert, after he found the bottle, which he would have found if it wasn't like biblically raining at this church. And then we crossed the desert from like, you know, just going into through the mountains to literally like driving the car down sort of ditches. Please don't tell the rental company I said that, but the car was a legendary car. It got through everything, and we had the drone out, we had perfect weather, as I say, and we did the whole story of like Raphael crossing, digging for jewelry, checking the map, finding out where it was, digging it up. Then that was the first bit, and to be honest, I didn't realise how much good footage I had, because then I had footage of the hat coming into it, and then I had footage of the what am I trying to think of, hip blast, and everything like that. It just made this like epic film. And then by the end of the day, I think we left this exit at like 7, but it was still a 3-hour drive to get back to where Raphael lived. So literally it was like, right, done that, back there, got back, we hit another torrential biblical downpour on the way back. That sort of cleaned the car, so I didn't have to go and do that myself, which was pretty good. But then we got back, it was like a full-on day shooting. Raphael did an amazing job. His friend did an amazing job, just like guiding us, giving us a bit of a tour, telling us where things were, telling us where the best shots were. Took some epic photos, which he's given us now, because it was obviously a few weeks ago. And just being, you know, like an all-rounder epic person to have on the journey. Louisa was an absolute like legend on the shoot as well. She was carrying things, sorting things out, sorting rings out. I've never had like an assistant, but she's like more than an assistant. She's an absolute legend, tour guide, tunes on in the car. It was really, really good. So I think all of us just did the best job. We had like a navigator, we had like a, you know, sorting everything out person. We had like me as the driver, the photographer, the videographer, the director, and then just everyone just like chipped in, and Raphael was just such a legend. Like no matter what we were doing throughout the day, how long the day was, he was like, right, boom, what's next, get the rings on, looks super cool. I mean, which he doesn't have to put that much effort into, because the man is a legend. But yeah, it was class. Got back finally, back into France. Beers, mojitos, quick game of pool, and to be honest, we were like, right, bite to eat, and then we were like, we're shattered. We were thinking it was going to be a few beers, but it was like we had such a long, tiring day. We'd gone from like 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, because we had to get up earlier, to like midnight, and we were like, right, shattered. Still hadn't got this vital church bit. So I filmed a little bit for Louisa, because I wanted to do a little personal project with her. We used the same location at this epic church on the coastline. Literally looked amazing. We were super lucky with the weather the next day. We had massive thunder and lightning storm in the morning. That cleared, and we give us some time to have a lie-in, and then obviously to shoot some more. So went to Raphael's, didn't see Christoph and James that time. I think they were still probably on the come down of the hangover off the 20 euros. But yeah, epic. Got Raphael, he was like, right, we need to finish this. So we had a big, sort of like the big scene at the end was the fire scene. So we had a really, really cool log fire on the beach. And previous to that, we were doing everything in reverse. So as the sun was setting, we were doing the stuff like he'd come from dawn. This is so hard to even describe, but basically we were doing everything in reverse. So when the sun was getting lower, we were doing things that it would have when it was higher. So we knew our last scene was going to be down on the coast, and that was going to be the first scene you see in the video, which is he found this bottle that had washed up with the treasure map in. It was the quest for silver. That's how I, you know, that's what I wanted to call it. So I've made the film really, really western, really, really cowboy, and it's the quest for silver. He goes, finds this old treasure map washed up, and he's on his quest, basically from France to Spain on this quest for clocks and colours silver. I've done 3 films, and then I've made one quick 1 minute film, which they wanted as well, and some reels. But I want to post it on mine where it's like, it's going to be 3 dedicated. They are long films, and to be honest, there's not that much black and white, it's all colour. But I'm super proud of them. Raphael did such an amazing job. The film's come off, it looks absolutely epic. It's probably one of the best or just favourite times I've had while filming a campaign. I've done a few really, really good ones I'm equally proud of, but I just had a good time. It was a bit like, you know, because we had a holiday either side, and then we did like 2 days of solid work in the middle, and it was perfect. So I've got that to show you. I can only show you that, I think, after the brand obviously posts it. So it will be coming soon, and I will obviously show you guys. I did a little bit of Louisa, as I mentioned, down at the church as well, so I can give you a little sneak. I think I can give you a sneak peek of hers, because that's easy. And we based it on a lacquer colour hat, an Australian hat maker, which probably everyone knows, but it's super cool. I've got a lacquer colour hat, because they do men's styles as well. But Louisa got this really nice cord hat, and we thought we'll make a little bit of a film. So I'll give you a little teaser, and here it is now. And with the Clocks and Colours stuff, I think if you go across on Clocks and Colours on their Instagram, if you've never heard of the brand, I've got a few of their rings, and we've got a few, you know, to keep us in. So shabby on the old YouTube front. I don't even know what happened at the end, but I think I've lost the last 5 minutes of the recording. But basically, I'll just try and cover what I thought I might say, but I don't know if it's going to tie in at all. Basically, that's just me being really shabby on the old YouTube. I was saying I've got a few of the Clocks and Colours stuff. If you do want to go across, see their Instagram, check it out. Hopefully they've posted the films, and then I can't wait to show you the films I've posted. They might be posting the long ones, they might be posting the short ones. I think it's probably going to be the short ones, but I want to do a little bit of a, you know, like a 3-part trilogy premiere, because it is a shoot I'm really proud of, just because it was just so cool. It was just the perfect shoot. Again, I personally love working by myself, like being the man and, like, you know, negotiating, directing type of thing. But obviously, Raphael was an amazing legend of a model. We had Albany, which she was just the best at, like, telling us obviously where to go, what looked cool, taking some super cool shots. And then we had Louisa being, like, preferably the best assistant, or, like, you know, even idea, carrying stuff, play this here, play that there, have you got this shot, organizer of the shoot as well, plus, you know, AC, music, everything in the car. So yeah, overall super cool, can't wait to share with you. And I did touch on Monia's film at the start of the film. Can't wait to show you what that's all about, and a little bit more about what happened in Paris. But yeah, he's the man for leathers, he's the man for leather jackets. And you should go across and check out his blog and articles he's written about himself rather than the brand, about how the brand come into fruition, because it is super cool, and you should go and check out his video I've made him, which I really want to talk about more, which I really want to show you guys across on my Instagram as well, plus talk about here on YouTube. So yeah, join us for that. Join us for a few more things, obviously involving the old fashion. Cheers, I do appreciate you coming back, watching my YouTubes, seeing what it's all about. But please go and check out my blog, because there's some super cool shots, some shots we just take on our mobile phones, and some shots which obviously the ones I give the brand as well, all across my YouTube. Little things about you know, written about the day, and I'll keep Christoph and James just for the YouTube channel. But yeah, that's a little treat you get, a little bit more insight for coming across and, you know, watching my YouTube videos. So hopefully, guys, I'll catch you for a few more in the next coming weeks. Definitely going to feature some cool stuff across on here. But again, thanks a lot for taking the time out to watch. Cheers, and I'll see you in a bit.